Well, a BJP legislator in Madhya Pradesh, Usha Thakur, has written to Garba organizers in her constituency asking them to stop Muslim men from entering the dance venues. She says that this is to stop what they are calling love jihad. Ahead of by-polls this Saturday in key states that include Uttar Pradesh, several groups linked to the Sangh Parivar, in fact, have stepped up their anti-love jihad campaign.
Love jihad in the time of Navratra. At least that's the fear BJP State Vice President and MLA from Indore, Usha Thakur, is trying to create in Madhya Pradesh now. The MLA is writing to Garba organizers in her constituency, telling them to prevent Muslim men from joining the celebrations in October.
सब गरबा पंडाल के आयोजकों से आग्रह कर रहे हैं कि जो भी पुरुष इस पंडालों में शामिल हों, उनका मतदाता परिचय पत्र आप अवश्य चेक करें, ताकि कहीं लव जिहाद का माध्यम ना बन जाए।
The BJP though has distanced itself from the MLA's initiative.
सर उषा ठाकुर है इंदौर में, उन्होंने गरबा जो होता है सर अभी उसमें सर मुसलमान यूथ को मना किया एंट्री के लिए, वो लिखने वाली है।
उषा ठाकुर। The organizers on the other hand are in a spot. Should they follow the diktat or not?
40 साल से हम लोग हमारे गरबे का आयोजन करते हैं और तकरीबन 500 परिवार इसमें शिरकत करते हैं। 9 दुर्गा के ये 9 दिवसीय प्रोग्राम होते हैं। इसके अंदर अभी तक तो हमारे को कोई ऐसी समस्या से सामना नहीं करना पड़ा जब किसी दूसरे धर्म के लोग हमारे यहाँ आकर गरबा करें।
While the MLA claims her initiative is for the welfare of the society, the lack of support from a state government can prove to be a hurdle in its implementation. On top of this, 2 pamphlets released supposedly by the VHP in Gujarat and Mainpuri in Uttar Pradesh added to the love jihad theme. The one in Gujarat warned girls to stay away from Muslim boys or they would be raped and sold off and end up as prostitutes. The one in Mainpuri warned Hindus not to patronize Muslim-owned shops and to take their children out of Muslim-owned schools.
इससे मेरे 50-60 बच्चे चले गए हैं, नुकसान हुआ है बहुत, और बाकी बहुत भयभीत अभी भी हैं, गार्जियंस भी परेशान हैं, फोन करते हैं मुझे लगातार।
Adding to the concern over the MP MLA's letter and the pamphlets is the silence of the BJP at the centre. In Bhopal with Hemant and Neha Masih with camera person Rizwan Khan, Siddharth Ranjan Das for NDTV.
Well, is this stepped up love jihad campaign really going to work for the BJP, or is this going to backfire at the end of the day? We have with us tonight Minnie Mathur, who's a very well-known television host and actor who's married to film director Kabir Khan. Pawan Verma, Rajya Sabha MP of the JDU, joins us tonight. Amir Raza Hussain is with us from Bangalore this evening. And our BJP spokespersons this evening, Nalin Kohli and Jay Narayan Vyas. Nalin, I wanted to ask you first, do you agree with what the legislator from Madhya Pradesh has said, that let's not allow Muslim men to come and participate in the Garba? What is the BJP's position on this?
Well, I mean, it's certainly not an official position of the party, and it's evidently, as your own report showed, the view of an individual. So I don't know why we are dragging it as a policy. But the issue of love jihad is a separate issue altogether. And I'd be happy to discuss about the points related to that. The first point is that love itself, there is no issue. Any 2 individuals, irrespective of religion, region, even nationality, if they go through a beautiful process of love and decide to get married, that's wonderful, because it's expansion of society and that's how it's meant to be. However, if there's a deception behind it, if there is any kind of fraud behind it, and the intent is to mislead and to cover it up, then it's an incorrect move, because that whole institution is based on fraud. And the state or society can't be a mute spectator to it. So that's a different issue. So I think if we are discussing it, let's segregate all of this so that it doesn't seem that we are heading into an area and create more confusion on something sensitive.
No, but these are your legislators. So these are not, these are not some sidey people, okay. These are people who are BJP legislators. So therefore they have a position of responsibility, and so the party must take a position on this. Do you oppose Muslim men being part of the Garba?
No.
Very simple question, yes or
no? I think if you are looking at it, two parts to it. One is that everyone's an individual, they have a right. We don't live in, it's not a dictatorship that, nobody can express their views or go about it. I can have a personal view also, and my party is not going to say that. But whether the party line is there is different. Second is about the Garba event. It's a religious event. It's a celebration of femininity or Ma Shakti. And in that process, if someone wants to come, irrespective of religion, They want to come and participate in a religious festival. Good. Many of us will go and participate also in Muslim festivals. So that's not an issue. But if the purpose is not to be part of the religious process in that sense, understand it, appreciate it. And if it's only for a social thing, I think then it becomes a little bit of an issue. And some people may be pricky about it. Some people may feel that it's offensive. But others may be more open-minded. Society looks at it in all sorts of ways. But to straight away pick it up and say, no, this is the BJP point of view and all, I think is an overstatement.
You should be a diplomat, because that was a very nicely evaded answer. But Mini Mathur, let me ask you.
Thank you if you feel so, but I'm sure I will continue where I am. You've got a diplomat on the show, Mr. Verma.
No, but Mini, I've been listening to this, term for the last few weeks. When it first came up, honestly, I just wondered what does this even mean? And when you listen to this entire debate that unfolds almost every other day now in the run-up to these by-elections, what do you think about this entire debate?
I think it's just something that, a lunatic fringe element has, decided to take further and, take this hate-mongering a little further. It has nothing whatsoever to do with what was initially, the concept behind it, and even that was like pretty lame. But I just feel that what's happening right now is just a bunch of people who are trying to now use this and take it forward without the ruling party actually taking a stand on it, like you rightly said. I mean, if there's a poster about love jihad out in their, political party offices, then it's a stand whether you say it or not. So, I mean, I think it's for sensible people who know the ground realities, where we know that this whole love jihad thing is never going to work. It's for them to step up and say, listen, this is ridiculous and a little bit retarded, and can we please do away with this, because nothing of this sort is what everybody else on the ground is feeling.
Do you also find it that in this century that we live in this day and age, when in which you have more interreligious marriages and things have changed so much, Mini, when you now hear these kind of terms, it sounds like we've gone back 3 centuries. It's really absurd.
Absolutely, it's absurd. It's going back to the dark ages. In fact, if you look at the statistics, the number of inter-caste marriages are increasing by the day, which basically means that the population, the country is wanting to move ahead, and religion is not really a factor that's identifying people and their ideologies anymore. There are a lot more things that the country needs to focus on, that we need to focus on to get ahead, get better lives, and religion is definitely not a part of that. And this is something, I mean, you may be the party head sitting in your offices and deciding, okay, this is the way we're going to go. But when you step down and you look at people and how the social fabric of the country is developing, nobody wants to make religion an issue anymore. It's hardly, I mean, at least in my generation and the one that's coming up.
So, Jayanarayan Vyas, Mini Mathur says, as I was saying earlier, why isn't the ruling party then taking a stand on this? If this is indeed fringe elements in the party, which I don't think so, because you have people like Yogi Adityanath who keep talking about it, and he's very much not a fringe element. Why doesn't the party take a stand on this? Is this regressive? Is this regressive of the party to take this position?
Well, I think Nalin has adequately explained this entire question that you are asking me. But I'll take it little beyond what is being discussed and debated. I think we need to go a little back and look into the past, from where this originated. It was way back in 2008-2009 when Bishops' Council in Kerala first coined this word, and this has not to do with intercaste marriages. This is something where a woman is duped into the marriage, or when she is cheated and got into some kind of lure into some kind of a marriage. That is where the problem comes. And it was there where the Bishops' Council in Kerala, way back in 2009, they said that there were as many as 4,500 women in Kerala who were duped into this kind of an activity, and this further got some kind of a legitimacy when Justice K.T. Sankaran of Kerala High Court in 2009 ordered an inquiry. So I think there what we are trying to make out as, number one, it is not something of the BJP's creation. Number two, religion is a matter of personal faith and nobody challenges it.
So then do you distance yourself from the remarks made by your legislator in Madhya Pradesh? Mr. Vyas, do you distance yourself from the remarks made by your colleague in Madhya Pradesh? Do you think Muslim men should not be allowed to come to the Garba? Because that takes it to a different level. And what about the VHP pamphlets that have come up in Gujarat saying that women shouldn't mix with Muslim men? Do you agree with that? Are you distancing yourself from that?
I'll answer you.
Yes.
I'll answer you. My party has made it absolutely clear that Bharatiya Janata Party as a party has nothing to do with it. And so a member of Bharatiya Janata Party as I am. And I can tell you in Gujarat, I think the thousands and thousands of people participate in the Garba festival. We don't make any discrimination of this kind. So what I'm saying is not something which is what you're trying to, one swallow doesn't call the summer. This is a practice, it is not what is love jihad, which as it is being coined is somebody being cheated, somebody being conned to get into the marriage, and that is where the problem arises, not in the normal way that one person gets into a marriage with consent, with full understanding.
Okay, Amir Raza Hussain, there is also then an implicit insinuation here that women are basically stupid and will get conned and will be exploited, and they are somebody's possession, property, and there is this assumption that women have to be protected somehow. So there are multiple themes at work here. Amir Raza Hussain.
No, the first thing I want to say is that this whole love jihad, of course, is a completely nonsensical term. But I want to point out that the founding fathers of our country actually wanted to promote intercommunal and intercaste marriages. And in fact, there is a law which is still existing that if you go into court and if there are people from two different communities, then the government actually gives you, if you are two people getting married from different communities, gives you some ghee, some money, some cycle, something, just as a promotion, as the government trying to promote intercommunal, interfaith marriages. Because they recognize that one thing that can really bring this country together and can break down divisive walls in this country are intercommunal marriages, intercommunal friendships, interfaith marriages. And this is what we have been living with for the last 55, 60 years. Last 2-3 years, I just don't understand how this has come up. Going back in history, where as someone said that we going back, 200, 300 years. Actually, if you go back in history, Akbar used interfaith marriage as a way of uniting this country. And I think since then, interfaith marriage has been one of the greatest things that unites Hindu and Muslim and Christian and makes them part of the mainstream of this country.
No,
and
so
here we have a political party that is coming out and saying, no,
No. So therefore, do you think this is going to work in terms of polarization?
Which is actually bringing us together.
No. So do you think in terms of a political strategy, which is what it seems to be, it's going to work, or it's going to be regressive and backfire?
No, unfortunately, it will not backfire. Unfortunately, the country has come to a state in the last 6 months, in the last 1 year, where we are so keyed up, communally so keyed up, that any stupid slogan adds to the divisive potency of the populace. It is pathetic. And I think as a ruling party that has come in with over 280 seats with such a large majority, I think the first thing they ought to do is to really ensure that there is communal harmony in this country. And we see members of the ruling party going around and creating and using tactics which will further divide the country just because there are some bypolls coming up, some MLA elections coming up in Maharashtra and Haryana. And,
I just want to get Pawan Verma in before I can. Nalin, you can answer them all together. Pawan Verma, as a my question which I asked. 1 second, Nalin, I will come back to you. That the question that I was asking the BJP earlier this week as well was, you've got a great mandate. It's an overwhelming mandate. Your Prime Minister keeps talking about a governance agenda, a good governance agenda, development and so on. Why doesn't the party then use that as an election issue rather than this?
Who are you asking this question to?
To you.
Because that's not an agenda that's going to get them votes.
You use the word your party.
No, as in I meant the BJP. I said that this is the question I asked the BJP earlier this week.
All right. Can I give you my comments?
Yes.
I want to make a couple of quick points, and I want my good friend Nalin to take them in the right spirit. First of all, Nidhi, there is overwhelming evidence that the BJP and the RSS combined have used the instrumentality of religious polarization to maximize electoral dividends, and such policies always become far more abrasive, aggressive at the time when elections are due either in bipolls or on a larger scale. Secondly, what is even more dangerous is that there seems to be a conscious policy of the leadership maintaining so-called distance from what is happening on the ground at the level of the second and third rung of leadership. So the leadership keeps talking about either development or maintains a silence or says this is not our policy, but allows a free rein to elements at a lower rung on the ground to pursue this policy of religious polarization. Thirdly, this notion of love jihad is a transparently visible instrumentality to spread communal divisiveness and create religious hatred on the basis of what borders on the absurd. It is actually using an instrumentality which plays on emotions, magnifies an issue beyond all proportion, has no reference to statistical facts, and uses it to create that polarization. Fourthly, let me say to you that when somebody is finding it very amusing, but it's exactly what is happening on the ground, and laughter is not a response. Fourthly,
Yes, I agree with you. I'm finding it amusing because it's absolutely accurate, Pravan.
It's actually
Amir, sorry, I thought it was not you. The point is simple.
Smiling, no.
Fourthly, I want to say that marriages...
See, just like the BJP is always presumed to be, the same is happening here.
I'll just finish. Marriages which are interfaith marriages should be marriages of choice. There are many Muslims who have married Hindu women, and there are many Hindu women who have chosen Muslim men. In the BJP, there are two stalwarts, Shahnawaz Hussain, Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi, who have married Hindu ladies. In Bihar, a very senior RJD leader, Abdul Bari Siddiqui, has married a Hindu woman. These marriages have been happening. They should be made on choice. Of course, we need to condemn anything that uses this kind of good faith and the use of such a noble emotion as love, wants to misuse it by deception or deceit or by fraud. That should be condemned by any attempt by people of any faith. But love jihad is an oxymoron coined with the specific purpose of creating religious polarization for short-term electoral dividends, and the party is trying to say what is happening on the ground is not what we are saying, but it's encouraging it openly. And there is enough evidence now to prove it.